Now then crew, Andy Mechanic here and welcome to my YouTube channel. Now we've got Tool Girl Sam. Come in Sam, come into the picture, there we go. Okay, that's more fun. Okay, so Sam, what have you been up to recently?
Nothing besides my car's not really working, so...
It's still broken.
Yep.
It needs that warrant. It might have to be a case of Andy Mechanic to the rescue. Watch this space, we'll see what we can do. Yes, it needs a front engine mount too. So front engine mount and a left rear. It's not a strut. I had a quick look at it. It's a coilover shock. So we need to get one of those. And I think it's the gearbox mount, but I'll have a look. I'll verify that later on today. Okay, so we've got another customer's car in at the moment, which needs a set of rear tyres. Because, believe it or not, the old one, which I've already taken off, is here. Look at those. Geez, sorry Sam. It's pretty much low on tread, and if you see, this is not easy to camera, see these little marks here on the tyre, these little lumps. Well, these are what are called tread wear indicators. And when the tread wears down so that that's then flat with the tread, that tells you you need new ones. And if you don't put new ones on, you won't get a warrant. It's as simple as that. So we've got both rears to do. We'll just do one to camera because Sam's asked me to teach you how to fit tyres to wheels, basically. So fortunately, we've got a nice tyre machine here. It's not brand new, but it's a good one. It does motorbike tyres and car tyres. We've got all the extra adapters and stuff for it. And I thought it'd be a perfect opportunity to show Sam how to fit a tyre to a car wheel. Let's show you the new tyre that Sam's going to fit. Look at that. It's black and it's round and it's made of rubber. And I think, by the looks of it, Sam's head's going to fit right through the middle of it. Look at that. Very professional.
Perfect.
Perfect. That'll make quite a good shot for the video, I reckon. We should use that. Right. Okay, so what size is it, Sam? We should talk about tyre sizes before we do this, shouldn't we?
Label?
Yeah, I think there was a label on there somewhere. Sticker. You find the sticker? There we are, look. Can you show that to camera? It's not easy, I know. Okay, so we've got a Supercat, which is not a bad tyre. It's a budget tyre, but it's pretty good for a budget tyre. And it's a 175/70 R13. So what do those numbers mean? People find them quite baffling. Well, first of all, the first two numbers, well, the first number is a metric millimetre reading, which tells us that the tyre, sorry, Sam, is about, approximately anyway, because they're all a bit different, 75 millimetres across. Sorry, 175 millimetres across, 175. The 70 is not a millimetre, that's a percentage. And that's a percentage of the width, which is the sidewall. So whatever the width is, 175 mil, the sidewall height is 70% of 175. And I'm not going to try and work that out in my head. You can work that out. But that's basically what the second number means. The R stands for radial. So this is a radial tyre. And the 13, yes, I know, sounds ridiculous. We're going to jump back to imperial. That means 13-inch rim. So we've got metric in there, first number. We've got a percentage, which is the second number. We've got the letter, which tells us it's a radial tyre. And then the last one is a measurement in inches. It wasn't me that designed the scale. Seems ridiculous to me, but that's just the way it is, and it's probably never ever going to change. They have tried to change it. Industry didn't want it. They went back to the old way of doing it. So there you go. That's what it is. That's what those numbers mean. Right, over to the tyre machine, I reckon. Here we go. So on here we've got the valve. Well, in fact, the valve stem. And under the valve stem, take the cap off. You should always use a cap. Inside there is the valve core. Now you can let the tyre down if you want, just by pushing the core down with a screwdriver, but it'll take a really long time. Because when you inflate at the petrol station, the thing that you put on there pushes that valve, the valve core in, so that it can get air in there. But we really can't be stood here for 10 minutes and waiting for it to go down. So we have a special tool which is called a valve core remover tool. We're very good with our names as mechanics. We name things as they are normally. So it's a valve core removing tool. It does two different sizes. That's for trucks, that's for cars and motorcycles. And you basically put it in there. You see it's got some little flats on the end. It's got like a little key on there, look. It's really rusty. This came from England. This is an English tool, by the way. It goes in there and you twizzle it around until it locks into place. And then you turn it anti-clockwise, and that core is going to wind out like a bolt. And at some point, you'll feel it suddenly pop, push upwards, which means it's come off the threads, and the air pressure is pushing it out. So if you move the tool, the core will go flying. So you've just got to keep it on the tool, and then just gently bring it out, and the core will come with it in your fingers. and then the tyre will deflate.
Okay.
So it's probably going to scare the hell out of you, but give it a
Yeah.
go. Okay, so it's the little end for a car tyre, and you put that tool in there like a screwdriver, and then just
Okay,
just
sounds
turn
like
just
lock.
turn it gently, and you'll feel it locking. Oh, it is already locked. There you go. So now you just anti-clockwise, and it shouldn't be too tight. There you go.
Do I need 2 hands?
Yeah, I'll use both hands. Yeah, and you're probably looking at about 5 or 6 full turns. So just undo it really quick. When you get close to the end, or when you feel it pop, use one of your hands to go down and just grab the core as you pull the switch. Yay! Look at that. So what you've got there, that's the actual valve core itself, and there's a little sealing ring on there. And sometimes, if your tyre goes flat, it's not because you've got a puncture on the tyre.
Because of that.
It's because this has failed. Or sometimes they come a bit loose in the actual stem as well. So, you know, it may not necessarily be a puncture on your tyre. It could be that little bugger there, look. Yeah. So we don't want to lose that because we've got to put that back in later on.
Definitely
So
not.
we have a very special place with all the dust and crap
Oh,
up there with thousands of other ones. And you can put the tool there as well if you finish that for now. Okay, now the next step is, at the moment, even though there's no air in it, the tyre's still really tight on the rim, and that's because there's what's called a safety bead on the rim. You know, when you hear them fit new tyres in the workshop, you hear it go pop, and it pops over that safety bead and locks into place. So we have to use what we call a bead breaker to push that tyre off the rim, and the bead breaker is part of the tyre machine. It's just down on the side here. So we'll get set up for that, and I'll show you how to break the bead.
sweet.
Okay, cool. Right, this is the fun bit. We're going to pick up the tyre, the wheel combination. You always drop it on the floor like a proper tyre guy. And we've got to roll that. So you pull the arm back like this, you put the tyre in. If you come around, in fact, if you come around to our right, and you can see what this bladey thing here, well, that's really got to chop your fingers off. So we've got to make sure you keep your fingers away from there. That's why you get a nice handle. And that basically goes into there like that. And then, on the machine,
Should I be prepared?
it's the middle pedal. So when you press the middle pedal down, the air pulls that ram in, and it makes it go that way, and it pops it off the tyre. So if you come and stand where I was, and I'll let you roll the tyre into position,
Like a real
like a
tough guy.
real tyre person. There you go. That's it. So feel free. You won't break the machine. It'll probably break you before. So bring it back a little bit because you want to be between the tyre and the rim.
Ah,
There you go. That's it there, look. Cool. Okay, so you're now in position, and you can steady that with your hand if you want, and press that with your left foot.
so I should be holding that at the same time?
Yeah, normally I do, yeah. Yeah, so left foot, middle pedal. That's it.
Whoa.
Look at that. And then you can release it. Bloody hell, you're a natural. You're a natural girl, you really are. Right then. So then all we do is we flick the tyre around 180.
And do it
We'll
again.
do exactly the same thing again.
Oh,
There you go.
that's so crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa. Okay.
Perfect. Cool. Okay, so you need to pull that tyre out now and spin it around. So pull it out there. Turn it around 180 so we can do the other side. There you go. Like a pro. Now wheel it back in again. Should give me some gloves, shouldn't I? That's the one. Now make sure, just make sure it's against that wood and it's vertical like that. Look, there we go. All these little tips and tricks. Pedal and see what happens. Perfect. Okay, so same again, you've got to spin the tyre around 180. So I'll roll it around 180 degrees, so you've got to, that's it, so do that, and then doink, and then you should get a different part of the tyre. There you are. Press your button again. Okay, so you've now broken the bead on both sides of the tyre, and you can see that the The tyre's completely free on the rim now. You're wondering what that left button does, yeah?
Yeah.
So if you press it again, see what happens. And these sharp bits, they grip against the back of the wheel here. Now, if you've got someone with a real posh car with nice alloys, like a show car, you wouldn't want to damage the rim, but this is really a posh car. Alright, so press your button again, they should go back in. Cool, you can stick the wheel on there, press it again, it should lock the wheel for us. Cool, now we've got here a wheel weight, so we need to remove that before we can take the tyre off, because it can jam on the heel of the machine as it goes around, it can catch on there. So I'll whip that off. And there is a special tool, but unfortunately at this point in time it's still in England. So let's just use some mollies. They work pretty well. In fact, they work very well. There we are, look. Okay, now before we can take this tyre off the rim, we need to apply some lube. Okay, now we've got a little bucket here, look, a paintbrush, and in there is some snotty rubber water, and basically you just, get a bit of that soap, tyre soap it is, on the brush, and then you've got to push the tyre down and apply that all the way around.
So like that under.
Do you want some gloves?
No, it should be.
You're all good? Mind it's soap, you should clean your hands, not make them dirty.
Yeah, that's true. But I guess it's not human soap, it's tyres.
I don't know. It probably is just a big block of human soap that they've used. I don't know. I've had that about 6 years. I'm still haven't managed to wear it out yet. I don't have that many tyres. Good stuff. And I use a paintbrush because it's nice and thin, so you can get right down to where you need the lube. A lot of tyre shops use like a round style brush, and man, they just, I don't know.
Not effective.
Nah, it's just crap, to be honest. I mean, I've worked in plenty of tyre shops, and I find paintbrushes a lot better. And they're cheap. So you just go, find your... Cool, that'll do, Sam. Right, chuck your brush back in there. Let's get rid of that. And now comes the tricky bit. We've got to set the heel to the size of the rim, because obviously cars have different size wheels. And we've got a large twizzly thing up here. So all you do is push that down somewhere near the rim. Keep bringing it in until that heel touches on the rim, and it will drop. It'll actually drop right down as well. So if you want to keep winding that back down, I'll hold the heel, so other way, anti-clockwise, and it will get closer and closer to the wheel, and you can stop as soon as it touches it. Okay, until that bit there you go, look, is against this piece here. Lovely, perfect. Just double check with that right. Set a little tiny bit of clearance, there we go. Right, so then we can lock that off. And now, that stays in place. Okay, tyre lever. This is where you get to be energetic and prove to me you go to the gym every day. You don't go to the gym every day, do you?
I've never been to the gym.
Good lass, keep it that way. Good job.
You can just walk.
Yeah, like
Do squats
just
at home.
just do life. Works, doesn't it? Okay, so on the tyre iron, if you're American, or tyre lever, if you're English, you've got two different ends. We've got an end here that's like a long slopey thing. We've got one here that's more of a hook. Now, the hooky one you use when there's a tube, like on a bicycle. You have an inner tube in the tyre. These are tubeless, so we can use the long slopey one. And basically all that does is you've got to push the tyre down. If you want to actually come around this side a little bit, you can see better what's going on. Basically that goes down there and under the bead of the tyre, like that. And we're going to use that as like a fulcrum point to give us some leverage. But before we pull on this, and the idea is to get the tyre to come over the top and sit on there. Before we try and do that, we've got to push down on this side and get this side of the tyre to drop down into the well of the wheel, to give us some space, to give us some spare tyre basically to go over the top. So if I just show you how it's done, you see how it's working, look? In a tyre shop they do it really quick so you can't see what's going on. You've got to push down first and then bring that over the top. And you see it's going to hook over there?
Yeah.
Once that's done, you can either pull this out or Once you start the turntable, this will then become free. So as it starts to turn, you'll feel it just get released and you can just pull it away.
Sweet.
All right, so put that back down there again. And we'll see how strong you are. Cool. Yes, that's fine. As long as it's just beyond the actual bead of the tyre, you don't have to try and get it right down the bottom. So you've got your right hand on there and your left hand pushing that tyre down. Now that tyre is going to get sucked down into the well of the wheel, so don't put your fingers in the way. This is how you get to, yeah. Hang on, make it a bit easier for you. Just get it right on the heel. Now be careful of that. You don't want to smack into there.
No, fine luck.
It's very dangerous being a mechanic. You got it? Shall I give you a hand? You got it. I'm only giving you about, what, 3 or 4 kgs there. Keep going, all the way down. You might want to open your knuckles up so you don't smack your fingers on the wheel. There you go, you're on. It's slipped up. Brilliant. So now you can relax your left hand, hold that where it is, and then press the right button. It's the only one we've not used yet. Press the right button, and the turntable will turn clockwise. And when this gets to, once it's moved maybe 10, 20, 30, 40 degrees, that will then free off and you can pull that away out of the way and then just let the turntable keep turning. And if you need to stop at any time, just release the pedal. Okay?
Is it going to be really fast? And
No, it's pretty slow. There you go. That's it, then pull your lever out. That's it. And then you can keep going with your turntable until the tyre's done almost a full circuit. Brilliant. That's it, done. We're halfway. You've managed to get one side of the tyre off the rim.
Great job.
Good job, and we didn't even break a sweat, did we?
Yeah,
pretty easy.
Kind of sweating now.
If you haven't got a tyre machine and you've got to use like 3 tyre levers,
Yeah, that would be.
yeah, it's not easy. Man, I've done that a few times and it's not fun at all. Okay. Now the thing to bear in mind is we don't have any lube on the other side of the tyre. But the other side of the tyre tends to come off a lot easier anyway, so we don't need to worry about that too much. And most tyre guys will laugh at us putting lube on an old tyre because it's going to go scrap anyway. Why bother using lube? But it does actually make the tyre come off a lot easier.
Yeah, makes
So-
the whole process easier.
Yeah, I think so, Okay, so this time, you've got to get that part of the tyre lever, not just on the top one, you've got to get, this is the hardest part now. I get a torch, just get your torch, show you what I'm on about. There you go. If you look down there, can you see the other side of the tyre, the other bead?
Yeah.
Down there, look. So you've got to get that tyre lever down there. Can you see it?
Yeah.
Below that other bit. Now if you want to, if you find it easy, you can use the hooky one because it tends to grip better and not slip off so much. So you can put that down there if you want, put it on the bead of the tyre. And again, it's got to be over that heel there, that's your pivot point. So that's all set up. If you want to line that up, see if you can.
So putting it.
Yep, straight down there again. That's your little guide that sort of holds the lever in place. And then, can you see that? And don't worry about the rim, you won't damage the rim. Once you've got it sort of just hooked on that bead, you good to go?
I think so.
Okay. Right, we'll get rid of that. Now this time, at the same time as pushing this lever that way, or pulling it that way, you've also got to lift the tyre up with your other hand. So left hand on there, right hand on the tyre, and you actually lift and go that way with it. And it should, there you go, and that should then go all the way down. And I think you're in the right place, perfect. So you just hold that down there, you can let go with your right hand, press your button again, it'll start to turn and come off the rim, and you can pull that lever out. That's it. Keep going, you're right.
Oh.
There you go.
Uh,
Brilliant. So that
Keep
lever
going,
goes
go
back
on.
in the little pouch down there, look, in the little holder with the lock button. Cool. And the tyre now is completely free.
Great job.
I reckon it's a fantastic job. Brilliant. Well done, Sam. Okay, now at this point in time, if the rim was all rusty and stuff, you'd have to clean it up or buy a new rim or whatever you want to do. So, a lot of tyre shops would fit a new valve core as well. They'd fit a new valve stem with a new core in it. We're not going to bother doing that, we're just going to fit tyres to the car. So, we now need the new tyre. Right, if we swap sides, you come around this side of it so you get near the camera, because you're small and I'm big. Right, so what we need to do first of all is we need to lube up both sides of the tyre. And you might also notice this tyre has got a yellow spot on it there. That yellow spot, and I know there's all sorts of yellow marks on it, but it's that one there that's actually the big yellow circle. That needs to line up with wherever the valve is. That's sort of standard practice. We always line those up. So when it's fitted, that would end up being on the rim about there, look, with the valve. So that tells us that this is the outside of the tyre. It's not directional, so it doesn't really matter which way around. We could fit it that way if we wanted to, you know, as long as that's still lined up with the valve.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll stick it that way so we can see the circle, see the mark. So we need to first of all put lube on this side of the tyre. So if you grab your paintbrush again, lube it up. There you go. Just paint it on. You
on that.
yeah. It's that bit there and this bit here that counts. The actual sidewall of the tyre is irrelevant because that's not going to be affected by being fitted. Good stuff. You're going to make a good mechanic one day. Okay, spin it round. You know, students pay a lot of money for this tuition. You're getting it for free.
Awesome.
Pretty good. You're taking so much care and attention. Fantastic. Right, okay, so we'll twizzle the tyre around so that that mark is somewhere close. It's going to probably move a little bit after we've fitted the tyre. We've got to adjust it. And then, what we need to do is tilt the tyre across like that. Swing your arm back into place, Sam. It's all lined up with the rim size and everything. That's it, there you go. Okay, it's a bit tight, so I'll just make an adjustment. There we go. Right, now this time, we're not going to put the tyre on the top of here. It's going to sit underneath there. And it's going to run. In fact, grab some more lube, Sam. We'll stick a bit of lube on the heel because it's a bit dry. I think Ben's been doing his lawnmower with it. It's all rusty. There you go. So around there, look, on that bit. That's like the feeder that feeds the bead in. And then a little bit under there, look. That's it. Perfect. Okay. So you can lose that for a second if you want. And then you're going to do this. Basically, to get the tyre to feed on, the lower bead goes under there. And on top, and I'll just bring the camera around so everyone can see what's going on. So there you go, you've got to get the bottom bead underneath here and it runs on top there. So basically like that. And if you hold it in position, there you go, like that. And then you press your button again, your lever, and that'll turn the wheel and the tyre will feed on. Yeah. One thing I've messed up though is that the yellow spots are it's completely opposite to where the valve is, so we'll twist it around like that a bit. Get it at least somewhere close. There you go. If you want to hold that, Sam. There you go. Keep going.
Oh my goodness.
How easy was that? It's even easier than
So
taking it off.
easy. Yeah.
It's surprisingly easy, isn't it? Okay, so we've now got the second stage to do, which is to get the outer bead put in. And again, it's exactly the same process. You've just got to get that tyre under there and make sure that this side feeds down that little ram. Now, as it comes round, we've got to make sure that this part of the tyre drops into the well. That's the well of the wheel right down there, the lowest bit. If it sits up here, it will jam and damage the tyre. All right, so this is where we say more pies the better. So for those of us that are a little bit heavier than others, and I'm probably twice your weight to be honest, which is nothing to be proud of unfortunately, but I do like my pies. What we do is we push down on with our fist like that, and then that follows around with the tyre to make sure that that bead goes down into the well. But what you mustn't do, which is really important, is have any fingers here because it's going to trap your fingers and it's actually going to hurt.
Oh.
All right.
No thanks.
So if you want, I don't mind pushing that bit down. If you want to do the button. Right, sorry. We overshot the gun. Jeez. Okay. Right, so I've just lined up the dot again. And yeah, I think we're ready. Look at that. Do you want to give it a go? I reckon you could do that. I reckon you could do that. It'd be fun. So we can take it off again. We'll just line it all up again to go back on. There's the dot. And you just got to push down on there as hard as you can before you press the button. You can use two hands if you want. So if I get out of your way.
I just clicked my fingers.
Oh, don't scuff your knuckles on there either.
Okay.
Alright, so take your time, whenever you're ready, press your lever down and it'll start to move. And you can stop at any time, you don't have to do it all in one go. Go on. Ta-da!
Ah.
You are now officially the Andy Mechanic tyre fitter.
Ooh.
Bloody good. I bet you never thought it would be that easy.
No, I really didn't.
Really impressed. Right. And look at that, Sam. The yellow dot is exactly where the valve is as well. I don't even need to adjust it.
That's really cool.
Excellent. Right. So now we can lose the little grippy fingers. So you can press that one again, the left-hand one.
Leftist.
Yep. Did that grip it again? There we are, we're done. Perfect. Okay, so now we need to put that. Where's it gone? Where's it gone? Is that the one? No, it was an orange one. You see an orange one?
Yeah.
There, it's hiding. Right. So a little trick, you've got to give it a blow. Like that. Go on, you do it. Perfect. That's exactly right. Okay, pop it in there with the little nipply bit sticking up.
Okay.
And then you've got to key that into position on those little flats, and then you can screw it in like a screw, I suppose. There you go. It doesn't need to be massively tight, but just a bit more than finger tight. You know, just like that'll do. Great, because you know if it's loose, it's going to go flat, isn't it? Cool. Put there. Right. Now this is the noisy bit.
Okay.
And remember our air compressor's turned off at the moment, so we might run out of air again, but we'll see how we get on. So this is our inflator.
Ooh.
And that goes on there, and it should in theory stay on, which it probably does actually. There's a little clip on there to hold it on the threads. Then all you do is press the fire button and it inflates. But in actual fact, Andy has messed up. Made a mistake. The mistake is we put the valve core in too early. So can you take it back out again for us? Damn, sorry. That wasn't staged at all. I actually genuinely messed up. I was thinking of something else at the time. I'm not going to say what. Right, anti-clockwise. Now the reason why we're going to inflate the tyre without the valve core in is it allows a lot more air to get in the tyre a lot quicker. And that helps the tyre to pop out and seal against the rim. Otherwise, if you don't get much airflow, you can get so many leaks that it never actually inflates. So to have that out makes it a lot easier. Okay, so that wants to go on there, Sam. So you just press the little lever in, stick it up the top, as far down as it'll go, and then release, and it should hold it in place for you. Perfect. And then you can press the fire button. Now, again, because the tyre is going to pop out, you don't want any fingers in there. Go on, you can do it. Keep it on. Keep it on. Yeah, okay, that's alright. It's going to go bang and probably splatter some lube everywhere and things. Always a problem. Okay, and once both sides have popped over that safety bead, they've both gone bang bang, then we can stop. Most of the air is going to come out, but then we can put the valve core in and then inflate it to the right pressure. So let's have a quick look underneath and just see if the tyre's popped on as well. Yes, it has. Okay, so what we can do now is you can take that off. The air's going to come out, that's fine. Perfect. And now you're going to need your little valve core and your fitting tool again from up there. And then this time you can put it into proper. The first time was just a... Oh,
They were so close to losing it forever.
jeez. What would I tell a customer if you'd lost that? This isn't Andy Mechanic quality, you know. We've got to step up. Good job. Cool. Okay, and now you can inflate it to, I would say, 32 psi, please. You've blown tyres up before, eh? Petrol station. I don't know how accurate that gauge is or whether it actually works, to be honest. I've got a proper inflator, which we use off the airline.
So,
Yeah, the red one I think it is, the red scale. So you just got to hold in. Go on, you're right. It'll take a while to get to 32 psi. In actual fact, I'll check it on the car anyway. Just to make sure we're right. And when you want to take a reading, just let go. And it'll tell you the pressure in the tyre. So what's that, 20?
Yep, just over 20.
Professional. We'll keep going.
So is it meant to be 32?
32, please, would be ideal. Do you know what you do if you overshoot?
No. Take it off.
No, you can press that and it brings it back down again.
Oh.
It's cool, isn't it?
I guess it doesn't exactly have 5 notches, that's 4 little notches in between.
Yeah, so we've done 10, 20, 30, and we want every notch is worth 2 psi, so you want to go 1 notch after 30. Cool. Happy with that? Super. Right, let's pull it straight off then. You can, and that's it. Done. And all you need now is the valve cap.
How does this thing?
It's rudimentary kind of fit. It just droops. There you are, look. Yeah, it's about as good as it gets. There you go.
Done.
So you've learned how to fit tyres now.
It's crazy.
Man, you're learning so quick.
I know.
Good job. Thanks for doing that.
All good.
Right, Sam, back to the bench. I think so. Okay, Sam, who's got the dirtiest hands?
Not me.
Still me. Now, you know the one that with the dirtiest hands was the one that's working the hardest. Do you realise that, don't you?
Totally not.
Okay, so that's basically what's involved in fitting a car tyre onto a car rim. Now, obviously, not many of you people out there, viewers, friends, whoever, are going to have a tyre machine lying around in your garage at home. It's pretty rare, but it's actually quite good to see a tyre being fitted and what's involved. And when your tyre man says, oh, you know, mate, it's going to be 2 or 3 hours, it's going to be a big job. It really isn't a big job fitting a tyre. 3 or 4 minutes. I mean, I think we did a competition at Unitec with my students, and I got it down to just under a minute, which was most upsetting to the best student. He'd just done 1 minute 47, I think it was. So I smashed his record completely. But of course, my time didn't count because, you know, it wouldn't have been fair for me to win the jug of beer that I'd offered as a prize. Man, I was a cool lecturer. I'm sure I was. Right. Okay. Well, there you go. If you found the video helpful, why not subscribe to the channel? Come on, Sam, you can do this.
Subscribe.
Somewhere
And
up there,
like.
fictitious invisible box. There you go. So subscribe to the channel.
Oblong.
There you go.
Rectangle.
Perfect. That's actually bang on where it is. And once you've clicked on the subscribe button, you'll see a little gear icon pop up. Somewhere around there. Yep. Click on the gear icon. Click on the gear icon, and then you can tick the box for our friends at YouTube to send you a video as and when. I said video, didn't I? Man, they'll send you an email. I'm an idiot. It's too distracting. They'll send you an email as and when I upload any new videos. Now, you'll also find me on Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and Twitter. I think you have to kneel down a bit, Sam, because that's where the Facebook thing goes. Perfect. Too perfect. Okay, up a bit. There we go. So, Facebook, Instagram, Google+, and Twitter. But I would prefer if you could use the comments on YouTube for your question, for your first point of contact, because that's where the videos are, and that's where other people will see your comment, and maybe my answer to you will also answer their question. Who knows? Anyway, that's just the best way, I think. Right, crew? Well, it's goodbye from me, and
Goodbye.
from
Peace out.
Tool Girl Sam!
Tall girl Sam.
Tool Girl Sam, yay!
To the rescue.
Again, yeah, I've got one more tie to fit now.
Oh.
In fact, I might have a cup of tea and let you do it. Okay, see you next time, crew. Cheers. Over and out.